Can RJ Barrett only go left? It's an opinion I see expressed quite often, and I was asked to analyze this part of his game because it is such a well held belief. And the quick answer is no. RJ Barrett actually can go right and does so more often and more effectively than he does the opposite side. The smaller question, though, and the one that I think informs why there is this perspective or opinion on his game, is which hand does he finish with at the rim? Well, it's not really his right hand very often, and that is the truth. But to create an advantage against an NBA defense, it's not about being okay or passable at a bunch of things. It's usually about being elite at one or two things, and RJ Barrett is elite with his left hand and allows him to finish on both sides of the rim, even if it's not often with his right hand. And just a quick reminder before we kick everything off, make sure to like, comment, subscribe. It helps the channel. It helps this stuff get more reach that we work so hard on. Thanks. How he's used in Toronto's offense, his brutish strength that allows him to maintain lines and create more aggressive ones while bumping defenders off their spot, and his absurd burst off of his last step. These things allow him to stay on the left side and succeed there. But how defenders guard him is what allows him to counter so comfortably going to the right. And we can see this pretty easily in his time with the Raptors. He has 48 drives to the right side, and he went 21 of 33 from the field for 64% on those. And he has 41 drives to the left, 17 of 31 from the field for 55% on those. Something that the Knicks knew, something that Toronto definitely knows, and something that some analysts know is that RJ Barrett is an absurd curved driver. It allows him to maintain his stride length and grind his defender towards the rim using his weight and his strength. And of course, his explosive last step that can come at a lot of different angles. The way he's able to turn his body towards the rim on his last step and explode going forward, it's a magnificent change of pace, change of angle on drive, and his left-handed dexterity obviously allows him to finish at a lot of different angles over a lot of different types of contests. And because of this very aggressive defensive stance to wall off the left side, RJ has access to a whole bunch of counters to his right. And he's able to, with that strength creation that's still there, create a lot of space for himself so that, the right-handed finish doesn't necessarily always have to be there. It's still a weakness, to be certain. No glazing over that. It's still something that he has to get better at, certainly. But a lot of the worry around finishing with the right or left hand regards tight windows and how close contests are and where the defense is coming from and your maneuverability in those situations. But RJ Barrett is so strong, and especially with where he plays on the court, is usually able to clear his defender off of his line and get defenders out of their airspace, his airspace, I should say, and create a lot of clearance for whichever hand he chooses to use. And simply put, a lot of times he can afford to go up left even as he's driving to the right side of the court because of his strength creation and because of the play types he's being used in. Whether we're talking post-ups, isolations, or cuts, a lot of the time RJ is able to beat his defender to the glass. He's a good athlete, or if they do catch him, he's able to get into that bump and grind mode where he's able to push them under the rim and finish comfortably high with his left hand. And this does mean that we see him miss or even fail to attempt a lot of those sweeping, longer drives to the right side. However, he has his own counters to stay in the middle of the lane, which opens up playmaking opportunities for himself and opens up the floater and the short pop layup that he was getting to all the time. If players try and catch up to that right hand, he can just spin it back left. It's a really tough game of cat and mouse for the defender to play because he's so strong and brutish. He's virtually always moving you towards the rim, and he's very comfortable with that physicality. RJ's range of motion with his right hand, his right shoulder, that dexterity, it isn't that great. When he's finishing on the right side, his elbow is usually tucked pretty close to his body. These are some things that he needs to work on, but he's still finding a ton of success. He was the Raptors' most successful driver. When he was on the Raptors, he was one of the best drivers in the NBA. He had the best finishing numbers of his whole career. He was the most efficient of his whole career. He took the least amount of touches to do this. He's working quicker, he's working more efficient, and he's doing it in tight spaces, and he's finding a way to win those situations. Because again, the NBA isn't about not having weaknesses, it's about having significant strengths. So, can RJ Barrett only go left? Not at all. He can go right, does so often, and does so extremely efficiently with a whole bag full of counters that he's able to get to, a lot of which require his strength. That's his advantage. Does he struggle a lot more going up with the right hand? Yes. These are his complications. These are his struggles as a player. This is what he, as a young man, needs to overcome and improve at. But the good news is, he's already succeeding. And we already see that defenders and teams, both in how they guard him one on one and in the overall concept, are trying to account for his strength. And he's still able to find his own way to it, even when teams load up against it. He's a pretty unique bully guard, and I'm excited to see how he continues to build out his game with these types of advantages. I'm Samson Folk. I hope you enjoyed this little deep dive on RJ. There's a lot more stuff to come, both on RJ in the deep dive stuff, but also just the Raptors as a whole. I hope everybody's starting to get excited for the season. Who knows how this stuff goes, but yeah, thanks for tuning in. Remember to like and subscribe. That always helps everything. And yeah, thanks for listening to me. All right, see ya.